It's open. I'm not seeing me. Hi, Dawn.
I can see you.
We are on.
How are you?
Are we streaming? Are you streaming? Hey, hey, Dawn. We're on YouTube, so we have to be careful what we do.
We better be very careful. And what's the weather like in Jamaica?
Oh, can't wait until September.
I'm very excited, and everyone else is. Everyone keeps saying they're very excited about coming out to Jamaica and seeing you all and learning so much from all of you.
Yes, 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 yes. I need to send you a note about Stella, the meeting with Stella and
Yeah.
I. Um, I'm not seeing Mr. Malcolm.
So it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Jamaica.
Yes, it is. Not very hot, not very cold.
It's a little bit cold here in England, but better than it has been. It's not raining, so that's good. Always good news. You've got people connecting to audio.
Didn't hear that, Dawn. Let me see if I can turn on.
No, didn't hear that.
Okay, all right. I'm hearing you louder now.
Good.
So we'll wait on it's 3 minutes, so we'll wait on the moderator. Let him on.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
One moment, please. Good afternoon, everyone. Everyone hearing me clearly?
Perfectly clear for me, Norman.
Okay, great. Thank you. I hope everyone is excited as I am, and I'm happy to welcome you all to the launch of our COMC Talks here at the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica. And with us today, we have two very special guests. We have none other than our own Executive Director, Dr. Paul Wilson, and of course, the President, or rather Chair of WFCP, Dawn Ward. We're so happy to have you sharing with us today, and I'm sure that we're in for an exciting presentation as well. So just to begin, give us a simple synopsis as to the purpose of COMC Talks. I'm just gonna ask persons here just to mute your microphones, please. Thanks. All right, so the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica is a statutory agency of the Ministry of Education and Youth here in Jamaica. And we are tasked with representing that of the community colleges located here, or member institutions. And having done that, or rather in doing so, we are excited, as I'm sure you all are, in creating a space that centers community colleges and the work that is happening in this particular space. So the purpose of Community Talks is to provide a framework and a space through which local, regional, international stakeholders can share insights, best practices, and innovative approaches in the field of community college education. And that is what we're aiming to do here every last Thursday from now onwards. So the sky's the limit. And I hope that you will come out and you will definitely share with us and partake in these robust conversations that we're going to be having. Today, we're centering WFCP and its World Congress that's being held in sunny Montego Bay in September. And I'm sure, like yourself, I am very much excited to hear about the plans that we have in place for that activity as well. So that being said, I'd like to extend welcome to our council members, if there are any here right now. On behalf of them, welcome our council members. I see the acting principal for Knox, Miss Petrona Marshall here as well. Thank you for joining us. And I'm seeing some familiar faces, like Mr. Alvin Day as well. So thank you for joining us. And we want to hit the ground running. So I'm going to open the floor rather now to our Executive Director of the CCCJ to talk to us about the importance of COMC Talks, this initiative, and its alignment with the CCCJ's mission and vision. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Mr. Malcolm. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on our launch of COMC Talks. We believe this is one way where one medium we can use to share with the world what is it we're doing here at the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica, what we're doing in Jamaica, what our member institutions are doing. We also believe it is fitting that as we plan and prepare for Congress 2024, that to launch COMC Talks, that we speak about our conference or Congress. So welcome to you all, and we look forward to sharing, having a good discussion, a good time this afternoon, and also in our other series. Over to you, Mr. Malcolm.
Thanks, Dr. Paul Wilson. So, seeing that everyone is here to hear the exciting stuff that we have in store for WFCP, let's begin by introducing our special guest, Dawn Ward, Chair of WFCP. Now, Dawn Ward serves as the Chair of the World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics, as well as serves as the Chief Executive and Principal of Burton and South Derbyshire College in the United Kingdom. She has been an engaged member of WFCP and its boards for many years, and has shown the organization great dedication, leading and being active in a number of subcommittees, including the Awards of Excellence and Governance subcommittees. Dawn is Deputy Chair of Chartered Institution for Further Education, and she has extensive experience in senior positions at the board level, both at the non-executive director and chair, across a number of national groups in the UK. Dawn is a council member of the Greater Birmingham Chamber of Commerce and director of Greater Birmingham Solihull Local Enterprise Partnership. She has received numerous awards throughout her extensive career in technical and professional education, including Principal of the Year from the Center of Excellence in Leadership, Leadership in Race Equality Award from the Network for Black and Asian Professionals, and highly commended in the Prince Philip Medal Award for her professional accomplishments. Please join me in extending a warm COMC Talks. Welcome to Dawn.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be with you today.
Thank you for joining us. So happy that you could be with us. And also introducing our very own Dr. Donna Powell Wilson, the consummate professional, has special interest in mathematics education, curriculum and instruction, as well as educational leadership and technology. Her professional qualification spans a Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction from the Northern Caribbean University, a Master of Science in Educational Technology, University of British Columbia, Canada, a Master of Science in Educational Leadership from Central Connecticut University, USA, a Bachelor of Science in Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, also holding a Diploma in Teacher Education, past the Garden Teachers College, now one of our member institutions, College of Agriculture, Science and Education. She's a dynamic leader par excellence. Dr. Paul Wilson has been Executive Director of the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica since 2014. Under her leadership, Staff of the Year and Student Awards were implemented in the colleges, and CCJ's first online learning project was piloted. This erudite educator has vast experience at the secondary and tertiary levels of the educational system in Jamaica, and in 2017 was awarded the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for over 25 years of service to education. On 2020 November, she was presented with the Northern Caribbean University College of Education and Leadership Outstanding Alumni Award for contribution to education and leadership at the local and national levels. Dr. Paul Wilson led the CCCJ in achieving its ISO 9001-2015 certification from the National Certification Body of Jamaica in August 2021. Fully committed to volunteerism, Dr. Paul Wilson served as the member of the Curriculum Committee of the Nursing Council of Jamaica. She also served as a co-founder of EdTech Jamaica, where she developed training resources for integration of tablets in Jamaican schools. And she also is an executive member of the World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics. Thank you both for joining us. Now, let's start the proceedings in terms of our questions. So for you, Dawn, could you share with us, how does one become a member of WFCP, and what are some of the benefits of being a member of the organization?
Okay, thank you. So the first thing, in terms of becoming a member, we have a lot of member associations from across the globe. So I think, perfect, thank you. So we have lots of member organisations. So obviously your own, Donna represents you for Jamaica, and therefore institutions that are member are indirectly a member. Equally, institutions like my own become members and can apply. And it is straightforward. You apply direct, so you can go on the website and you will see quite clearly there the process to apply. It's so straightforward. Individuals can apply. They obviously have to be approved by their organisation that represents their country. In terms of the benefits, if I look at it from my perspective as an institution, as a leader within TVET, it's got wonderful benefits, not only for me personally, but for my staff and for the students. The exchange of knowledge across the globe, I think, is really, really important. We have affinity groups, we have webinars, and once you sort of interact with people, you've got this wide global network of organisations that you can share knowledge and learn from each other. And as I say, the real benefit then is passed on, I think, to our students. Although it benefits staff, at the end of the day, we're all in this job to make a difference in terms of transforming lives and getting people into work to drive our local economies and regional economies.
Thank you so much for that. I'm so happy to hear about, for example, the global partnerships that are being created. Because one of the things that here at the CCJ that we've been pushing is the whole matter of the Sustainable Developmental Goals and incorporating that into our programs as well. Now, based on what you've spoken about, Dawn, as it relates to the WFCP and the benefits, what are some of the key challenges and opportunities facing community colleges on a global scale today that you've come across?
Quite interesting, actually, because when you speak with organisations across the world, I think there's a lot of commonality that we all have. And some of that commonality will often drive around things like funding. Different organisations have funding challenges, particularly in keeping up to date with industry standards. Industry is moving so fast at the moment with technology advancements that creates challenges, I believe, for colleges in keeping abreast of that. We do, but it's often hard work in getting sponsorship and working and, learning around there. Again, globally, there has been a big issue. I think it's settling down now, but particularly around staffing, getting appropriately qualified staff and keeping them up to date. And the big one, really, in terms of the challenge that I've started out with, it is sort of the industrial advancement, technology, AI, which is going to be a big feature, isn't it, Donna? It's going to be a big, big feature in terms of what we've got at the Congress. I think that is a challenge, but it's equally a big opportunity for us all. A huge opportunity in terms of our our learning and our development and our engagement with technology, particularly AI. We use it every day, don't we, on our phones? Our students are using it, industry is using it. It's going at such a pace that it's really important that as educational community colleges, we keep abreast of that. You know, it's a huge opportunity, and I think it's going to be quite exciting times over the coming years, you know, down to the basics of making sure, have we got good policies in place? Have we got policies in place that protect us with our students who are using AI and submitting work in? You know, let's be honest, it's learning at such a great pace. There's a lot of learning we need to continually do to keep that up to date, but great opportunities, I think, in sharing, in coming together, so that if you look at now globally, technical and vocational education, we wouldn't say its time is now. Every government post that pandemic recognises the value of what we do to drive the economy. So I think there's real opportunities for us.
Definitely awesome. And I love the fact that you've highlighted policies and students, and for students and faculty. I think that is an issue ever since the whole matter of OpenAI and ChatGPT. I think that just kicked open the front door, and we've just been trying to catch up. But I'm happy that you spoke about funding, because many times when we hear issues of funding, it's thinking of like small island developing states like Jamaica, or least developing countries who are having those issues, but it's happening right across the globe in terms of that sort of funding for community colleges. Now, in looking at the current landscape, policies, funding, industry standards, staffing, and industry advancement, how can community colleges collaborate effectively with international partners to promote knowledge sharing and innovation in education to combat some of these challenges?
I think there are huge opportunities that exist at the moment that, you know, for everyone that's going to attend the Congress in September, you know, once you meet face to face, so we can meet through technology at the moment, and that happens. As I've said, there's like affinity groups. You touched on the Sustainable Development Goals. Watch this space. We're probably going to have one to do with AI, because there will be a demand, you know, for that. Right. But I think when you come to the Congress and you've seen those names, you've maybe met them in technology, that networking that will take place will really allow people then to develop that further through technology, to collaborate. The affinity groups that we have currently, people share and learn. Many of us work with multinational companies, and you know, why reinvent the wheel? If somebody's learned and done something really great in one country, why don't we share that? Awesome. We're not competing with each other, are we? But, you know, if in education we can't become learning organizations and sharing, then where else is it going to happen in the world?
True. And I love the fact that the whole matter of partnerships and spotlighting what is working in one place and seeing how best we can have those sorts of communication. Because let's face it, it's a global challenge. And if we're able to do one thing in here, for example, in the Caribbean, it's working, what's to stop us from sharing with our partners in Canada and the UK and being exchange that sort of conversation? But then, how then, in your experience, both as principal, both as chair of WFCP, what are some of the essential qualities or skills that, for example, our community college leaders who are here, that they need in an increasingly interconnected world to be successful?
I'm not going to spout off to you the normal leadership skills. For me, there's a couple that I think in the current climate, in the current world that we live in, are really, really important. And the first thing I would say, you've got to be an authentic leader. Really must be an authentic leader, but you've also got to be very flexible and adaptable, because our world is changing at such a pace, particularly, as I've said, with technology. And therefore you've got to, you know, be very open to ideas. I always say to the staff that I've got, you know, every student we have has got a talent, and our job is to make it shine. And as a leader, that's what you're looking for, isn't it, in all of your staff? The connectivity, the ideas, setting the right culture that actually allows that innovation, that collaboration, that openness. So for me, that adaptability and flexibility is so important in setting that culture that allows if you like, all of that talent you have in your staff. And part of it as well will come through learning with students. You know, they learn probably quicker than some of us do. You know, and letting them, teachers, and see what they're doing, particularly with technology, because they're on the latest, aren't they? They know exactly what the latest thing is. So I do think, you know, as I've said, you need to be an authentic leader. We all need to be authentic. We need to take our diverse self to work, recognize that everybody has got talent and strengths, and allow it to grow, develop that culture of innovation.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So you've spotlighted authenticity, flexibility, adaptability, innovation, and being innovative and being connected and creative in their approaches. Thank you so much for that. We'll continue to chat in a bit. We have some few more questions, but over to you, Madam Executive Director. We're all excited about what are the plans for WFCP. I know some of them, but I'm not sure if everybody understands, you know, just how vast and how expansive we're hoping for World Congress to be in Montego Bay. So could you highlight for us some of the key themes or focus areas of the upcoming WFCP World Congress in Montego Bay?
Thank you very much, Norman. And the CCCJ is a member of World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnic. We believe in partnerships. You spoke about the Sustainable Development Goals, and of course, we are doing our part. So we look for opportunities for our faculty, for our staff, for our students. So this partnership is very dear to the CCCJ, and I'm happy that we have our chairperson on, Dawn. So each member institution, members of WFCP, are given the opportunity to host Congress. It's a very competitive bid, and the CCCJ participated in that in 2022, and we were able to secure Congress 2024. So Congress 2024 will be held right here in Jamaica, West Indies. We're inviting you all to come down to the warmth of Jamaica. I'll also share though that we're live on YouTube now, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on X. So share the link and get persons to come on so that they can hear what will happen September 2023 to 27. All roads lead to Montego Bay, St. James, Jamaica, under the theme Empower, Equip, and Excel. No, WFCP promotes technical and vocational education, professional education, workforce development. And we recognize we want to be aligned to that because it is through workforce development that we're going to be moving our country, that our learners are going to be able to respond to the needs of the society. So our theme is fitting. We are going to empower you in our sessions, equip you so that you can excel when you would have finished the session on the 27th of September. Dawn spoke about being an authentic leader. Now, to hear more about that, we have our Leadership Institute on the 23rd to the 24th. This session is specially designed for leaders or principals or middle managers. So it will be 2 days full of thought-provoking leadership activities, leadership discussions about how, as educational leaders, we can propel education. We believe that the students are the future. Or students, they must have a voice, or young people. So there will be a youth summit from the 23rd to the 27th. And right down in Montego Bay, they're going to be experiencing Jamaica, what it is like to go to an institution in Jamaica, the flora and the fauna. Then on the 25th, we will have our scholarly discussion or academic discussion, where we now look at our presentations of persons who have an interest in research. We have our strand, we have 4 strands. So we're looking at empowering technical and vocational learners, equipping institutions for technical excellence, excelling in technical and vocational education. And we want to include not just educators, but other practitioners, because we think we can learn from everyone. So we have a strand there for private sector collaboration for empowering technical and vocational area. Our call for paper is open. So we invite persons to submit a paper so that you can become a part of this discussion.
Good. I am as excited because research is where I thrive, and I love hearing about the plans. And it covers a wide cross section of the landscape. It's not just looking at the leaders and the administrators, but we're also taking into consideration the Youth Congress, immersing people from around the world in what it's like going to school in Jamaica. And we have the leadership, a little bit of everything, a little bit of something for everybody. So please, what's stopping you from partaking with us in September? You know, the call for papers is open. If research is something that you love, please feel free to sign up. You know, it's going to be warm. Many places in the world will be cold. You know, you want to come down to Montego Bay, you know, you can have some fun while learning and interacting and networking and equipping yourself to be excellent when you return from the Congress. Now, Doc, how does the Congress aim to facilitate networking and professional development opportunities for community college students, educators, and administrators?
Okay, so we're expecting persons from throughout the world to participate in this session. As we indicated, WFCP is a worldwide international organization. So we're expecting persons from member institutions of WFCP. And we're in the Caribbean, we're in Latin America, we are all over, we're in Europe. So we are looking forward to those exchange of ideas. Dawn spoke earlier about some of the challenges that are happening in community colleges. They're not unique to any particular area. The challenges, when we discuss and realize that they're the same. So together, we want to come together to chart our way to develop strategies that we can use to overcome these challenges that we're facing.
Awesome. And I love the fact you spoke about partnership and partnering together to overcome these challenges. Now, what are some of the strategies in your mind that community colleges can implement to stay at the forefront of educational innovation and meeting the evolving needs of students and industries? Both yourself and Dawn spoke to the need for partnership and staying abreast of what's happening. So what are some strategies that you would suggest to community colleges that they can implement to be at the forefront, to continuously be at the forefront?
So we have to look at, partnership is going to be very big, right? So we have to look at how do we utilize the resources that are available? People resources, human resources, physical resources. So here we look at sessions like these, where we look at sessions like these, where we have webinars, we share ideas. We look at exchanges for students and faculty. And while we are aware of the international exchange and internationalization of education, one of the things that we are conscious about and we're exploring is COIL. So we can stay within our institution, not leaving our institution, because of course that will be an additional cost. And we can learn about the culture of our member institutions. All right. So this is the time where community colleges, not only in Jamaica, but community colleges around the world, institutions that are offering technical and vocational education, we need to stick together so that our message, we've been around for a long time, and we have been contributing to the society. We need to continue to do that so that our learners can be empowered. Technical and vocational institutions, to include community colleges, while we recognize our role providing opportunities for all, we are not only satisfied, we're not satisfied with persons who did not excel. We want everyone to excel. So, of course, we're going to take them on. But in the world that we're living in, the ever evolving space, we recognize that persons will want to retool. And these institutions are prepared to help learners to retool. So you want to hear about AI. How will AI affect assessment? How will AI assess the delivery of programs? Come to Congress 2024, where we will share that and more.
Awesome, thank you. So there you have it. WFCP 2024 in Montego Bay promises to be an exciting bag of all you can think of as an educator, as an administrator, as a youth leader. So it's the place to be in September. So please ensure that you go onto our website, www.cccj.edu.jm, and you can see any more information that you possibly want. And feel free to send an email to myself and Malcolm at cccj.edu.jm, or anybody else who you know at CCCJ, to provide you with that sort of information to assist you in securing your spot for WFCP 2024. Now, both of you made mention of technology and the role that it is playing, and the even greater role it is likely to play going forward. So I'm going to ask both of you, one at a time, what role do you see technology playing in transforming the landscape of community college education, let's say about the next 10 to 15 years, especially in the context of global connectivity? So who'd like to go first?
I don't mind. Donna, do you want me to go first?
Go ahead, Dawn.
Okay. I think what's exciting about it, isn't it? You've just said 10 to 15 years. And if we all think about the pace of technology, I'm not going to say how old I am, but if I think about, my first computer and where we are today over 25 years. Did I say that live? I did. Anyway, so if I think about, the pace of technology, and you're saying 15 years, my gosh, what might be happening with technology by then is a sort of, it could blow your mind really, because it's we don't know what we don't know about the pace of how it would go. But if you just think about at this moment in time, we can already connect easily as we are today. We can connect easily through technology to learn. We can share things. I mean, who knows? We might be teleporting. We could be doing anything really, because we don't know how fast it's going to advance and what's going to happen. But I think for me, there are huge opportunities currently. And I think at the Congress where we want to talk and share that is perhaps try and imagine what it might be. Because we're imagining the impossible, really, aren't we? 15 years, the advancement. If you went back many years, could we put a man on the moon?
There you go.
Things happen. So I'm going to say, who knows, in 15 years, we might not have to connect. Like I may virtually now physically teleport into Jamaica. Wouldn't that be nice at this, go back in time, because I'd be going back in time because you're in the afternoon and I'm in the evening. I think none of us know what it's going to be, but I just think we know, if you think post-pandemic, technology advanced at a tremendous rate. In the past, we used to send our students overseas all the time, and students often can't afford that. But there is a huge opportunity now, and there will be in the future, not only for our engagement to learn, share from each other, but I think there will be our students. I think once those relationships grow and blossom and develop, there will be so much learning that will go on through technology. We will I can just imagine all sorts of things happening. I think the potential is enormous. And I think it's now we need to grasp and make the connectivity with our membership around the world. And you're going to, be host. I'm so excited for this Congress because it's going to be great. I know, Donna and the team have done an amazing job so far. There is going to be so much to learn. And once we've got the connections made, who knows how the development will go, but we will have deep-rooted connections across the globe. And there will be so much learning and sharing that actually, as an educator, should help reduce some of the time, because we're going to, in real time, share the learning that's taken place with each other. Because at the end of the day, our students, our organizations, and our countries will grow and learn quicker.
Awesome. Thank you. What say you, Dr. Paul Wilson?
Wow. I will add to what Don mentioned earlier. The technology that is available, it makes no sense we shun them. We have to incorporate them in what we do. So as educators, we now have to use the technology to prepare learners to learn. So it's a this will require some mindset change. We have to change our thinking, change how we deliver the program, change how we assess our courses. We have to now prepare our learners to learn, because we don't know what is going to happen 10, 15 years ago. We don't. But yet we are required to prepare our learners. So we have to prepare them to learn. How do they respond to the situation 10, 15 years ago, all things being equal? So the technology is going to enable us to provide access to quality education. It's going to allow for a number of persons, first generation college graduates, and our institutions, we have a number of those persons. The technology is going to give more persons that opportunity. The technology is going to promote and encourage lifelong learning. We can't just learn and that is it. No, there is going to be a constant need to improve on what we know. And what we are finding is that more and more persons are not so much inclined to sit in a building for 2 years to complete something. They want something now, and a little later on they do something else. So we're seeing where we have to look at our credentials. How do we package our programs so that persons are allowed to do the programs at their pace in different stages? So the technology that we have to learn how to learn to use them. And of course, our theme, Empower, Equip, and Excel, will afford us that discussion, for us to enhance those discussions come September.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And I think both of you spoke to the need for there to be a greater provision of access and flexibility once again. But I think also based on the need for greater furore into the whole matter of technology, we have to also consider the whole matter of inclusivity and diversity, and how those particular things are treated within these spaces now, especially seeing that we're no longer just face-to-face, but there is also that global dynamic that we're seeking to prepare our students, not just for life in the UK or in Australia or in Jamaica, but we're providing a service and education for them to thrive in whichever context, in whichever locality they may choose to eventually end up in. So my question then is, how can community colleges ensure inclusivity and diversity in their educational programs and leadership structures?
You okay if I go first, Donna? Yeah. I'm just going to pick up about the aspect you said about students first of all, and I'm going to give you an example for my own organization. So for me, one of the greatest learnings I ever had, I worked internationally in the beauty industry many, many years ago. But I can honestly say that international experience of working in different countries is one of the best education that I ever had, because understanding different cultures, different businesses and how they operate really set me in good stead for life. So one of the things in the organization I have the privilege to lead, we worked on, going back many years ago when I first went there, was actually about how do we, for our students, get them to understand, recognize, learn, respect different cultures. And part of that was around, on the doorstep to me, I have Toyota. It's a Japanese business. I'm going to just use that as an example, but you can take down the road, there's an Indian company. I could go all over the world really with different businesses around. So for the students, having an understanding about how, I'm going to take the Japanese culture, particularly in business, operates, helps them when they're going to work. So for us, it was twofold. In many ways, we couldn't initially send our students all overseas, but we could develop partnerships. So we have a partnership out with Toyota City, which started over 25 years ago now when Toyota moved into the UK. What that's led to is our students, many of them becoming student ambassadors. So I'm touching on Japan, but I'm going to hit many, many countries because we have students that we now send to different parts of the world and staff. So we've had students and staff out to South Korea, Japan, we have States. I could go on, lots of different countries. But the important bit for me, go back to that leadership, is about that adaptability and recognizing in the culture of your own organization that you have to value and respect that. And I'll go back to my term, we all bring our diverse, we're all different. Every one of us is unique, but we're also, a special person that comes to work in the way that whether we think, act, all sorts of things, and the experiences we have in life. So for me, culturally, the organization, the culture you have in the organization that is open to actually allow those things to thrive, you immediately start to develop inclusivity. Inclusivity will then lead to diversity and equity. And that also reflects, I think the other part you mentioned was about staffing, and your leadership structure. So I think for me, it's recognizing and valuing is a very small world today. And for learning from each other, those connectivities and learning and sharing is just so, so important in bringing that inclusivity and diversity into the curriculum, into the learning, into the experience of the students, equally for the staff, because often you can have staff that maybe haven't traveled a great deal, for whatever reason, or they've only gone to certain places. So that whole learning, going back to being a learning organization, brings all of that into play for me.
Thank you so much for that. What say you, Dr. Powers?
Thank you very much, Sir Malcolm. Well, when we talk about inclusivity and diversity, we want to ensure that education is available for all. And the flexibility of the institution will really increase opportunities to include everyone. All right. So while there are the standard matriculation requirements, we can look at alternate matriculation requirements. So we look at prior learning. We recognize prior learning. We do not only take entry requirement for academic programs. We look at technical and vocational programs, entry requirements. So making entry, making access, making the program accessible, that is one way. We also want to look at the institution on the whole. Most times when we have these discussions, we're talking about students and academic faculty, leaving out the other staff members in the institutions, like the student affairs faculty, staff members, the student support services, and these are important because for students are not well physically, mentally, they're not going to do well academically. So we have to take into consideration the entire human being. So through WFCP, we have, and it just missed me, Dawn, what do we call the groups again?
Affinity groups.
Affinity groups. Through WFCP, we have affinity groups. And that is a staple in our Congress, where we promote the work of the affinity groups. And the affinity groups, we have affinity groups for different areas, all right? So it is through those small groups that we can encourage institutions to be inclusive and to diversify what is it they offer. Also, we have to look at our curriculum. How is the curriculum that we are offering? How is that in promoting inclusivity and diversity? So the constant review of the curricula is going to be important so that it is catering to the needs. And I spoke about well-being. Of course, finance is going to be a key, is always a key component when we talk about barriers. How can we prevent those? We have to just be strategic and find ways that we can get our learners, get our institutions to participate in activities. And as I've mentioned, this is one such forum. We have COIL, which is the online version of international exchange. So there are ways in which we can address these, and WFCP member institutions, we are there.
Awesome. Thank you both. I think both of you have touched on my next question in terms of the need for partnerships. And I thought I hear it over and over, the affinity groups and that sort of knowledge sharing that is already happening. And students, using different versions or platforms to facilitate that sort of exchange online, not necessarily just face-to-face or moving to the next country for a period of time to share in the learning. But my next question is, you two are two successful women and you're leading two profound institutions. Could you share some examples in your own work, whether as WFCP chair or as a member of WFCP or executive director, some examples of successful international partnerships or collaborative projects that have had a significant impact on the community college students and faculty? Because while we're talking about these things, it might sound high-flown and abstract, but you are actually doing the work. You're not just talking. So could you share with our audience today, some of those projects or partnerships successfully that you all have spearheaded as well?
All right, I'll go first, Dawn. All right, so with CCCJ being a member of the World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics, we were able to develop relationships with other members of WFCP. And out of that, I can speak to one, Hudson Valley Community College is a member of WFCP. And through our interaction or relationship with WFCP, we were able to host WFCP in Jamaica last year as a way of continuing discussions on our partnerships, on our relationship. We also, the CCCJ, we have partnerships with Canadian institutions. Again, that is coming out of WFCP, CICAN, which is a member of WFCP, out of CICAN, Jamaica benefited from a number of projects. There is one project now that is going on, which is the SAGE project. skilled to access to green economy. And our member institutions would have benefit from professional development training, benefit from curricular development and review, students exchange, where we have students from our member institution going to colleges in Canada for student exchanges. So the partnerships that we forge through with other member institutions at WFCP, it has really worked for us, and we believe that we can only go from strength to strength.
Thank you, Dr. Paul Wilson. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's wonderful to hear, because as chair of WFCP, I often hear about lots of the projects through the connectivity. So often members will ask to be connected with other people. So Donna and I sit on the board, so we obviously know each other really, really well, and some of the other board members, but other members make contact who are perhaps looking at a particular project and want to network with a particular country, and we're able to facilitate them and put them in touch with members there. Equally, as you've just heard about the examples there, I've heard about projects where there's been projects between the UK and Brazil, which is again one of the countries, I think it was the UK, who got funding in their country, was able then through a partnership to look at developing a project to support women in technical and vocational education, and that's ongoing. There has been a variety of others where I've seen, again, across Europe, Australia, Asia, different countries where people have actually, in certain countries, have managed to have a pot of money available, want to connect, and we've been able to make that connectivity. So in the same way that's just been shared, you've got teachers learning, students benefiting. It can be on the curriculum development, it can be about student support, a variety of different areas.
So there you have it. So joining WFCP is a big deal, and it allows you to put down many of these geographical borders and be able to have cross-pollination happening in the community college space. And work is happening, and great work that is, and opportunities abound for not just students, but faculty as well. So thank you both ladies for answering my questions. Now I'm opening the floor for our members here today. Do you have any questions? Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Anything you'd like to ask either Dawn Ward or Donna Powell Wilson, feel free to go ahead. I guess we're a little bit shy today. No need to be shy.
While you're waiting for any questions, can I just add that you know, they mentioned about the leadership development program and the, you know, for the youth camp. I would just stress to anyone that's listening today the benefit of those enormous. I personally participated. I've got 2 staff that are coming out this year. We're already booked up and ready to go, and we're just selecting the students that will come. It's a life-changing experience for students, absolutely a life-changing experience, and they also make lifelong friends. As a leader in an institution, we've always sent students as well as obviously staff. Depending where it is in the world, if it's in Europe, obviously we can afford to send more. I've got a few of us coming out to Jamaica, which people are really excited and looking forward to the learning that's going to take place and the networking. I think it's going to be a really exciting time, particularly as you started off earlier around the sort of, we're hoping that we will launch our global statement on AI at the conference.
Awesome. So there you have it. I mean, life-changing. If you hear that phrase, that turn of phrase, you know exactly that it is a serious thing, that, you know, changing your life, you know, lifelong friendships, and especially networking. Once you start networking from an early age, it becomes second nature, and success definitely will be yours. Do I see a question in the chat? Someone, Mitchell, or is that just a, oh, okay, all right, no problem. And so no further questions. Well, if there are no questions, just a quick reminder, WFCP World Congress 2024 is in Montego Bay, Jamaica this September. The call for paper is still open. We still have call for presentation for COMC Talks. We are going to be talking more about WFCP as well going forward. If it is that you'd like for more details as it relates to registering for the conference, for different aspects of that, feel free to reach out. It's on our website. Send an email, call us. We're more than willing to assist you in ensuring that you're in warm Montego Bay, sharing and networking and providing that personal professional development so that you can excel and that we all can excel in the community college space. So thank you, Don Warden. Thank you, Dr. Donna Wilson, for participating in our first COMC Talks. Please join us on April 25th for a second installment. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.